Aloha. It's so nice to see so many of you here today to listen to the wonderful messages that we're celebrating. Let's take a moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. Forget this, and enlightenment will be the least of your problems. We heard some messages from Pahoa earlier. The Torah teaches that we should love one another. The Baha'is teach that we should unify and help humanity. Buddha says there is no self. Maybe we're all off the hook. I've realized lately that it's a blessing that I'm getting a little bit forgetful because I'm so efficient. I'll rush around and get everything done and go, I've got to do the laundry, got to do the laundry, got to do the laundry. And then I get there, it's done already. I'm also very resourceful. As you may have noticed, I decorate with duct tape. Right? It's amazing what you can do with duct tape. It can be a bracelet. It can hold your dress together. You can make yourself a nice set of earrings if you want. The other thing I like to use is clear tape, because suppose you're going to a very boring meeting and you haven't had enough sleep. What are you supposed to stay awake during the whole meeting? No. This is what I have figured out you can do. You can glue on a fake eyeball onto a pair of glasses, and then while the meeting is in progress, you can just snooze away. And you pretend like you're paying attention, but you're actually sleeping. Sometimes when I do this at a meeting, people think I'm flirting with them. But when that works out, then I just get the duct tape and do my nails and give myself a pedicure. Because you can do anything with tape. Like I said, I'm getting a little forgetful lately because I'm so efficient. I've remembered to bring my notes. Okay, we did that one. Oh, here's one. What did Baha'u'llah, Mahatma Gandhi, and Genghis Khan all have in common? Very unusual names. Why is patience a virtue and hurry up and get there on time not? Always try to be kind, or at least have the courtesy to be vague. They say that there's a crazy relative in most of our families, most of the time. And if you don't know who it is, it's probably you. That's right. Very good. How do you know that, Jane? How did you know that? There's, we did the duct tape. Oh, this is for my boyfriend, Chris. These are his new goals. Going to bed early, not leaving his house, not going to a party. His childhood punishments have become his adult goals. I was really dreading renewing my driver's license this year because I renewed it 8 years ago. I was in such a good mood the day I renewed my driver's license then. I took the time to look at the magazines of the movie stars and what their secrets were, and I realized that they looked just like I do without their makeup on. I went and got some fake eyelashes, made my hair look nice, and I was in such a good mood. And I got the best picture so that every time somebody looked at my license, they go, "Oh, you look so cute." And that was great for 8 years until a few months ago when it came time to renew the license, and I had to bring in both marriage certificates, a death certificate, my birth certificate, all these pieces of paper and the tracking of my social security number. It turns out that there was 2 tickets on there that I didn't even know about because they write it in 2 parts now, so even if you pay one of them, there's still an extra one left. So it took 4 months to get that resolved, and I went back down to the DMV, and I was in the best mood possible, but it was one of those big, crazy, rainy days, and it was coming down, coming down, coming down. And I had all the papers, including certification that I'd paid those tickets, and the lady was pretty nice, but then she said, "I need to see your social security card." I said, "I brought you a copy of the social security card." She goes, "No, you need to bring in the social security card." And that's when I lost it, and I could feel one of my eyelashes was starting to unpeel itself. And she said, "You need to press your eyes into this machine and do the eye test." I don't want to do the eye test. And she goes, "Well, you need to do it. And then you need to go down to the Social Security office and have them mail you a new card, and then you can come back." I said, "I don't want to come back." But anyways, that's when I started crying. I just started crying, and I did the eye test. I could feel the eyelashes just hanging by a thread. She goes, "Now you need to go over to this other window, because I'm going to take your picture." No, I don't want to take my picture. "Does anybody have a tissue? Does anybody have a tissue?" And this nice lady gave me a tissue, and I wiped myself up and tried to look as pleasant as possible, and I tilted my head and smiled as best I could. She goes, you need to straighten your head." I was like, "Okay." And she took my picture. It wasn't as good as the one from 8 years ago, but it's not that bad. It reminds me of one of my roommate's boots when she came home and she just bought these new boots. And my puppy had chewed the boots up, and she just got home from work. And I said, "I got good news and I got bad news." She goes, "Okay, well, just tell me the whole thing." And I said, "Well, your boots got chewed, but they look fine from a distance." Which is pretty much the way my driver's license is now. So it's going to have to last me the next 8 years. They're actually going to mail me the hard copy. So I got that done, out of the way. So grateful for that, which is one of the keys of being successful and being happy. Find something to be grateful about. Which is why lately when I go in the market, I am in such a good mood. I have spent the last, 10 years growing my own food because I couldn't afford to buy it. Which is fine, except I don't know how to grow rice, and I'm not very good at making tortillas. And a few weeks ago, I actually had enough extra money to go and buy some groceries. I was so happy. I was bouncing in there. I get in the market, and here's all these grumpy people standing around with these scowls on their faces. I thought, holy smokes, people, you have the means to pay for the groceries. Why are you so unhappy? And they wouldn't even smile back at me. I was trying to smile at them, and they just wouldn't even smile back. And what I really wanted to do was I wanted to go up to each one of them. I wanted to tap them on the shoulder and go, you, and you are coming with me. We're going to go to Puerto Rico. We're going to do some service. You're going to buy your own ticket. And if you can't afford to buy a ticket, we're just going to go and watch Schindler's List over and over and over again until you get it. Because if you can find a way to be happy, you can make your life as happy as you want it to be. Smile, and you'll have something to smile about while you have teeth. I want to encourage all of you to keep some smiles on your face because we've got a good future ahead of us. And you better be smiling when I see you in the market, or I might come up and tap you on the shoulder. Aloha. Aloha, boys and girls. We went outside. Remember when I said we could be here now? We'd be somewhere else later. We were talking about animals, and you asked me to talk about where I came from. I live on Mokalate's storybook farm. Mokalate is a miniature donkey. Who do you think runs the farm? Mokalate. Who do you think does all the work? I do. But Mokalate is in charge of all the animals and making sure that things go smoothly. I love him so much. His favorite part of the day is donkey time, because he's wearing a donkey watch, so he knows when it's donkey time. We close the gate and he goes running around the yard as fast as he can, going, "Arroo! Arroo!" Makes him so happy. He also likes donkey papaya time. That's when I spoon feed him his papaya seeds and he slobbers them all over his face. It makes him happy. Is anybody else here 6 years old? Yes, good. I remember when I was 6 years old. Are you making your major life decisions yet? No? That's when I started making my major life decisions. I decided when I was 6 that I was going to be an artist. I was also going to grow my own food because until that summer, I had never eaten anything that didn't come from a restaurant or a market. I didn't even know there was such a thing as growing food. So I decided that when I grew up, I was going to grow as much of my own food as I possibly could, because that would be so much fun and so delicious. There was also a book I took with me when I stayed at the farm that summer where I discovered that you could grow food. It was called The Giant Book of Elves and Fairies. My favorite story in that was about a little boy who found a special magical scarf and then took it home with him. What do you suppose happened? All the elves came to visit him so they could get the scarf back because it belonged to their queen. They wanted to bargain all sorts of things, and he just kept saying no, no, no. And then they offered him a bag of marbles. When he took the marbles and showed them to his grandmother the next day, she discovered that they were made from rubies and emeralds and diamonds. And he kept one just for himself so he could be the best marble player in the neighborhood. But his grandmother was so excited, she said, now we can get some ducks, we can buy some sheep, and maybe even a donkey. Which led me to believe that having a donkey was one of the most wonderful and valuable things you could possibly have in the world. So I decided at 6 years old that when I grew up I would get a donkey. I didn't know it would be a miniature donkey and be as cute as Mokalate. He's all white with little curls and brown spots on him. And he's not spoiled or anything. He has a lot of friends on the farm. His best friend, his very best friend forever, is a big goat named Dasher. They are such good partners. Sometimes Dasher will get his horns underneath the fence and lift it up so that Mokalate can run under the fence with him, and then they go running around the neighborhood together. like a couple of adventurers. Didn't know that goats and donkeys could collaborate like that, but they can, and that's why they're best friends. The goat always likes to make noise, bah, bah, which is a little different than a sheep. I don't have sheep anymore. They used to bug me because they always wanted to go to the ba shop when I cut their fur, or I guess you call it wool. I do have a wonderful little parakeet. His name is the Bluebird of Happiness, because every morning when I'm saying my prayers, he just chirps along with them. And he swings from side to side on his little swing because he's so happy. And then if he's listening to Enya, when she's finished, he'll do a big encore. Because he's the Bluebird of Happiness. I have ducks too. All they do all day long, quack, 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 quack. Especially if somebody comes up the driveway. They get even noisier because they're watch ducks. They make sure that nobody comes onto that property unless they're invited. Because goodness sakes, the dog is far too busy to do that. He's so consumed with the paperwork. He gets all my bills out together and he thinks it's homework, and he'll sort through these mounds of bills I have and he'll go, do you want me to just eat this, Mom? I could just eat this. I could eat this for you. And sometimes he'll help me tie my shoes. He'll go, over, under, loopy, loopy, over, under, loopy, loopy. But he doesn't like to bark at people because he's so busy. He also plays with the new cat. We call it Christmas Cakes. Christmas Cakes is so special. Christmas Cakes waits for me to mop the floor, and then he'll chase the mop around and he thinks it's a monster or something. And he also likes to do exercises with me. In the morning we do sit-ups together. He'll lay in between my feet, and then I'll do a sit-up, and then I'll grab his paws, and then he'll do a little sit-up, and then I'll do a sit-up, and then he'll do a little sit-up. And he loves especially sneaking into the massage room. I'll be laying on the table and my face will be in the face cradle, and he'll lift his paw up and start whacking at my nose. You know, look, Mom, it's me. It's me, Christmas Cakes. He has so much fun doing that. I have a couple of chickens too. They're named Daisy and Shorty Cakes. They lay a lot of eggs. I remember one day my neighbor saying, you know, if these chickens ever stop laying eggs, you could just eat them. And I think they heard him. Now, I would never eat my chickens, but I did hear a rumor that one day somebody saw Shorty Cakes in the market buying eggs. I don't think it's true because she doesn't have any money. But you just never know. I don't have an elephant either. Do you know what time it is when an elephant sits on your fence? Time to buy a new fence. I don't have an alligator either. But if I did, I'd put a vest on him and call him an investigator. I would like to have monkeys because they're so much fun, but it would just be too much work to take care of the animals. That's one of the reasons that you have to wait until you're grown up to have as many animals as I do. How many animals do I have altogether? I have 12 animals altogether, not counting the fish. I have over 100 fish. They're very smart because they live in schools. But one of the reasons God made moms is so that we don't buy a bunch of animals before we're old enough to know how to take care of them. The other reason God made moms, according to my favorite second grader, is because she's the only one who knows where the Scotch tape is. I hope the rest of you enjoy your day today. It's a wonderful time to be a child and have all the fun you can, because it's not as much fun being an adult. Aloha.